Hello everybody out there. So we are in the greenhouse again today, and we're going to have a little look around and have a little general chit chat about things that are going on. There are new plants, there are new developments, there's tons of stuff happening despite the fact that it's terrible outside. It's winter, obviously, middle of winter, and it's really nice to come in here and smell the scents and look at the new growth and see what's going on. So I've got tons to talk about, and I've titled the video, around the general topic of too many plants, because that's the way I feel at the moment. I mean, just look at this place. I mean, there's boxes all around the place because I've been doing plant swaps with people. That curtain is going to go very soon, which I'll be really pleased about. I mean, this is something that I was aiming for in the beginning. I wanted a jungly feel, but the more things you've got dangling, the more things you walk into, the more plants you've got on benches and the less space you've got to put new things, new plants. Obviously, as you grow and develop those plants, they start to need repotting and they go into bigger pots. And then, I mean, just look at this. There's like not hardly a space for anything to go. This is the warmer side. Now, obviously, as time goes on, I am going to get more of these, or some of them, have nothing at the moment, over into the new hothouse. So that should help. I mean, one of the major mistakes I made initially was just not giving myself enough room to have workspace. I've got that space there, it's just not enough. I'll see if I can actually make the camera kind of pull back a little bit, because you're seeing it quite close up. I think I can get this onto half. Okay, so we've pulled back a little bit. Hopefully you might be able to see a little bit more now. So I think what I'm going to do, when these go over into the hothouse, I think I'm going to leave that one bench there completely clear so that I've got two lots of workspaces. I mean, is there a point where you can say you've too many plants, you've got too many things going on? At what point do you stop? I guess lots of people go through this process where they get more and more and more things, they get that jungly feel that they want, and then they suddenly think, hang on a second, how can I pot anything up? How can I replace things? Is that what happens? Do people start looking at what they've got and then deciding, well, okay, I've got duplicates of things, we'll get rid of the duplicates? Or maybe they think, well, I've been growing that for a while, it's not doing that well, I'm going to get rid of it and I'm going to replace it with something that I do want. This is something that everybody, no doubt, at some point will come across. This Begonia luxurians is about to bloom again. I've got this on a stick, so you should be able to see it. It's done really well. I think since I got this grow light here, which you never see it on because it flickers, well, it looks like it flickers on the camera, and it's got a couple of fans which make a noise, but it's had the effect of really doing well, or really allowing the begonia to do well. But it's also meant that the Mandevilla has only had, I'd say it had about a fortnight where it didn't have any blooms on it, and it seems to have come back again. Now, normally I get a month to 6 weeks where it's not looking that great, but now it seems to be, well, it shows you, it proves to you, doesn't it, that it's the light. It's such a high light plant. And while I'm on that little tangent talking about high light, the Bougainvillea over here, this is the first year that it's not actually lost its leaves. You can see it's actually in full growth. It's put more growth on. I chopped it right back in the autumn, but I then got that light there, which is only like a shop light. It's just an LED strip light, it's not a grow light. But as we discovered, or as I discovered when I made the video on lighting, that even a shop light is better than not providing anything extra. It will give it some wavelengths. Will it be as good as the Spider Farmer, the Mars Hydra, all the other manufacturing grow lights? No, it won't be, but it's better than not giving it anything. And that proves it. The fact that the Bougainvillea, for once, hasn't lost its leaves this year, and it's actually in full growth in the middle of, or in the beginning of February. So that's one development that's great. So we were talking about too many plants. Can you have too many plants? So what do you do out there? Do people start to specialize after a while when you've been growing them for so many years? Do you suddenly think, right, well, I'm trying to provide all these different conditions for different plants. Wouldn't it be better if I just specialized in one particular family or one particular genre? I mean, I'm the kind of person, I just love plants, I find it really impossible and really difficult to just focus on one area. Do I focus on Streptocarpus? Do I focus on just Gesneriads? Do I just focus on Orchidaceae? Do I just focus on Aroids? Oh my God, Aroids, that's something that's brand new to me and I'm absolutely in love with them. It really gives you a jungly feel. Look at this Syngonium. This is absolutely beautiful. This is a new plant that I bought very recently, a fantastic specimen as well. Syngonium albo variegata. Everything's albo variegata at the moment. I bought an albo variegata Philodendron, I bought an albo variegata monstera and an albo variegata, I think it was Callisia or Tradescantia, or yeah. Okay, so can you have too many plants? Have I got too many plants? Do you think I've got too many plants? What do you think? Tell me in the comment. So let's have a look at some of the things that's going on and some of the new stuff that I've bought. So we've said the Syngonium. I believe it's a climber, I believe it's an aroid. I don't know much about these things at all, but I will enjoy finding out. I can already see it's got some aerial roots coming there, so maybe it's a climber, maybe it's a vine, I don't know. I shall have to find out. So over here we've got some new things. I think you've seen that Tradescantia, that's an albiflora sweetness, probably has another half dozen names, but that is a much better variety than the Nanook in my opinion. It seems to be much easier to grow without any brown spots. A few more new things, a little diddy one here, this come all the way from Slovakia. Callisia navicularis, and it survived, it's just about to get going. So we have, this was off SMA, so this is Syngonium panda. I believe that the Syngoniums and the Philodendrons actually have different size leaves depending on their age. And I mean, that to me, I'm not really that impressed with that, but when you look at some photographs of the more mature plants, then it really takes off and gets into its own. It really becomes something different. So I'll just change the focus again because it was a little bit out. So this is the dragon's tail, Callisia congesta dragon's tail. And that one's just beginning to take off. Don't really know what that's going to be. This is an albiflora one, is it? Tradescantia albiflora variegata. That one was quite expensive, that was about £20. I don't know if I've been done, I may well have been. So yeah, we've got some new stuff going on, which I'll show you in a second. This one is the Tradescantia fluminensis Maiden's blush. Now the one right next to it there is, hang on a second, let's get that right, that's the Maiden's blush, that's Blushing Bride, but you know, is there any difference? I'm not really sure. This one's a little bit further on. That one's just beginning to show its pink, you can just see there. It looks a better specimen because it's a lot younger, so you've not got all the dye back. Again, you can see here, this is the Maiden's blush, but if you look further down, look, horrible stuff down there. And this is what happens with a lot of Tradescantias. They just don't want to grow like that. They want to root, and they're not being allowed to root as they go along. I mean, you can see the difference. I'll just move you around. I'll try and do it slowly. You can see the difference with my mega specimen of my Tradescantia zebrina. I mean, look at that. Okay, so what's that? It's about just over a metre 20. Can you see any dead bits? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's perfect in the middle of February, I beg your pardon. In the middle of February, not a dead leaf on it whatsoever. What's the difference? A lot of the stems are rooted as they go down. It's not being left to hang on one little precarious piece of stem all the way down to the bottom, and that's when you get all the dead leaves. So let's just go and have a look at some more new stuff that's come in quite recently from one or two swaps. So my Philodendron Pink Princess, it was a diddy little thing. In fact, it must have been 2 or 3 centimetre pot, but it was only under £20, and we've got some nice variegation. And again, this is one of those that the bigger it gets, the more variegation it gets. I believe they grow quite quickly anyway. Tradescantia zebrina Pale Puma, that's a new one. What else have we got going on over here? There's quite a few hippeastrums. One of them's bloomed, but a few of them haven't. I have actually moved the temperatures. It was 15 and they just struggle. They struggle after, give them like a month or two, 4 to 8 weeks, 15 degrees, and they all start to struggle. This one in particular, the Begonia Griffon, it just drops leaf after leaf after leaf. 2 degrees I put it up, the temperature, and straight away we've got a new leaf coming, and it just looks a lot happier and a lot healthier. This Tradescantia Tiana, or it's actually Callisia gentlei elegans, this is going absolutely crazy after that 2-degree lift in temperatures. Really enjoying it. This Begonia curly fireflush, again, for me anyway, it just doesn't like those colder temperatures. It might survive, but it's just not happy. What else? Well, that's a nice sweet little blue. That looks a little bit more purple than what I'm used to. Down here on the floor, we've got some new stuff going on. So over here, let's just have a look. So we've got a multicoloured disc colour, that's a zebrina. We've got a Callisia golden. All these are from SMA with semi-hydroponics. I've got one of these here, Hoya Wilbur Graves. Hope that takes. I don't know if it will or not. I've got them on here because even though the temperature is like 17-18 degrees, that little bit of bottom heat can make all the difference. Piper sylvaticum, that's the first piper I've ever grown. So let's hope that that one takes as well. And let's just have a look. Now this one here, again, it's not looking that great. It didn't really transport that well, but it has opened up. So Philodendron, Florida Ghost. I hope that takes. Be happy with that one. And over here we've got, and I'm just butting up against something at the back here. Right, we've got Mandevilla. Mandevilla seeds, took 3 weeks for them to come, and they are beginning to pop up. I can spot 3 there, 4 beginning to pop up. So they actually germinate pretty quickly, but I believe that once they've germinated, they then go quite slow. And you've got to wait till they've got 2 to 3 sets of true leaves before you actually transplant them. Those were the cuttings from Mandevilla that I took, all looking very, very healthy. And remember my wish list plants, my own wish list plants, not the subscribers ones. And I was looking for a Monstera albo variegata. Well, I have one. Okay, it's not looking great, but you know, I didn't pay for it. I swapped with SMA. She very kindly gave me this one, and it has got a new leaf coming down there. If I can just see if I can zoom in a little bit there. So I'm hoping that that's okay. It's in a very big pot because it's got loads of roots on it. Monstera albo variegata. So I'm hoping that does something for me very soon, and I should have another one coming. So I've got a very nice lady called Fiona who said that she would swap me one for some Streptocarpus divisions. I need to get around to doing that. I've still not done that yet. So we have right in the corner there, this is my Laelia anceps, and it's now about 1.5 meters, and it's finally going to bloom for me. So I'm really happy about that. Now look at this over here. So this is, I know you've seen it before, but there's something special happening. So this is my Nepenthes Rebecca Soper. We have over here, almost dying lower picture. We have a brand new, kind of intermediate picture. I don't know if you can see the difference there. It's a lot lighter. The peristome has a little bit of coloration in it compared to the lower picture. Then, and it's not popped yet, we have more of an intermediate picture with a little loop in it, which tells you where we're heading here, and it's obviously a lot paler, a lot lighter. And then, and let's just move my camera a bit, a very definite upper picture with the loop, the really pronounced loop, a lot smaller, completely different colour, totally different. So we've got the 3, you've actually got 4 different versions there on the one Nepenthes, and that shows you how they change as you move your way along up the vine. And I've just left the vine to do its own thing there, and no doubt it'll start to bloom at some point, which I'm not particularly bothered about. The blooms are more a curiosity than anything, and no, I'm not going to breed them, not really interested in that. So what else have we got? We've got this begonia down here struggled And you can see all the kind of dead and dying leaves on it, but you can also see the new growth coming on it now. And what was the difference? I moved it about a foot from the right over there, over here, sorry, from the left to the right. I just don't think it was getting enough light. Simple as that. It just didn't like it too dark, and you can see it's coming on here with some new growth. That's Maizi nigricans, Begonia Maizi F nigricans. Just shows you the slight little difference can actually make all the difference. So let's move through and have a look what's going on in the other side. All my Nepenthes are actually really growing well, and I've not fed them. I just think it's the light. They're just absolute light fanatics. You know, tons of new pictures going on here, brand new ones popped that you would expect in the warmer temperatures. You know, little ones coming there, same with that one. Loads of new pictures, that one's not quite, a little bit deformed there. I think that what's caused that is that I let it dry out too much yet again. Will I ever learn? The thing is, when they're hanging, you can't actually see, and it's difficult to know when they dry out. And then you water them, and all that happens is the water just goes down the side of the pot. I mean, don't forget, in these, they're very peaty, and peat really dries out and shrinks inside the pot, and then the water goes down the side. You think you've watered them, and in fact you haven't. They've just stayed very, very dry. So I keep trying to look at the side here, but it's not quite the same. It's easier when they're actually down on the floor. Another new picture on the side there, some nice coloration coming on that one. And that's the only one that's not given me a new picture yet. We've got some nice new ones on this Laelia cross, some gorgeous colours on that one. I really like those different reds and blacks there, that's very nice. So what else have we got going on over here? Yeah, you can see, I mean, this is already bloomed for me, this Masdevallia ignia, and it's giving me another one. You saw this one when it was mostly in bud. So this is Schroederiana. That's looking really nice. I mean, obviously Masdevallias do well for me here because of the cooler temperatures. I have another one that I don't think has actually bloomed for me there. What's that one? Can't even remember what it's called. It's coming out the bottom. Now there's a little spike there, but I think that might have, it looks black at the end. I think that might be going to blast. I mean, the rest of the plant looks very, very healthy. I don't even know what it is. Masdevallia amat something. I don't suppose you really want to know because it's not in bloom. But that one is amabilis. So we'll see what happens if we get any more. There's another one over there, that's the snowbird. So yeah, I mean, we're talking about these Tradescantia here. You can see that they're coming pink here. So people talk about this as being a virus, and it may well be a virus, I don't know, but one of the frequently quoted bits of information is that it needs the cold. Now the one in here gets, it gets 12 degrees, the one over there doesn't, but yet it still provides the pink at the same time. So I don't think it's the cold at all. I just think they do that when they come on with a new growth in, you know, whenever they start the season, and mine have started the season as soon as the day length has gone longer. As soon as the day length starts to go longer, that seems to be what's triggered them for me anyway. So all these Drosera have come back. So we've got the Pinguicula doing really well there. We've got some really nice dewy, what do you call them really? I suppose the leaves, aren't they? Some dewy leaves on these, the various Drosera. I mean, I lost all these at one point, and some of them will die down. You've not got to, you know, you've got to be patient and wait for them to come back. That one did die down. You can see it's coming back a little bit there. That one's disappeared completely, but I know it'll come back sooner or later. Remember I did those Drosera regia, the king sundew? Believe it or not, I don't know if you can see it. I mean, there's a lot of new moss in there, but just where my finger is, and I thought it had gone, there is a very tiny, unking-like king sundew. So it's not dead, it is coming very, very slowly. I nearly tossed that out at one point. I'm glad I didn't. I'm sure it'll come at some point, and they do go quite, you know, well, quite big, roughly about that big, 30 centimetres maybe, rings a bell. So Brugmansia is about to bloom. It's got a few buds on it. It seems to be being eaten by the slugs. The cyclamen's still looking great. Again, I've had a few slug problems, and what they do is they chew the bloom spikes, and they chew them right near the base there, and you only know about it when the thing falls off. But this one is my favourite at the moment. Loads of blooms on this one, and there is a slug somewhere around that area, and it's just completely decimated that one. But yeah, we're going to get the, I don't think this is Kingianum actually, Dendrobium, I think this is Delicatum, but that one's going to bloom soon. What else have we got worth showing? It'll be interesting actually to see whether the orchids change, you know, the fact that I've actually give them enough water this time instead of just draining it, pouring it through. Will it make a difference? You know, will they actually, I mean, they should do, shouldn't they? Will they be properly hydrated? I mean, I thought I'd lost all these Dendrobium cuthbertsonii, but since I watered it in that way, rather than just pouring a little bit through, there's some new growth on there. There's also some eaten bits as well, so I better get some slug pellets up there, don't I? And see if we can prevent it from being even more eaten. So that's what's going on at the moment. Dracula has just bloomed, but they don't last long, these Dracula blooms for me. All the Streptocarpus are now ready. They're all done in their pots, up potted some of them. You can see the leaves are looking nice and big, and they're beginning to green up and get more and more lush. I hate to say it, I've ordered some more. Will I never learn? I don't know where I'm going to put them all, but I really do need to get rid of some of the duplicates, that's for sure. So that's something that I can be getting on with for the remainder of the winter. So I do have some other philodendrons. We were talking about philodendron. So this one is Philodendron Camposportuanum. Again, looks nothing as it is now, but I've looked up online, you know, the bigger, more mature plants, and they look really, really nice. I think, again, it's too immature yet. The Escananthus in the corner, it's going over now. You can see these blooms are fading, so that's something that needs dealing with. And I am really motivated to get everything over into the hothouse. I mean, I'm going to have to do it all at the same time, because what I don't want to do is set that off at 18 degrees and then I've still got all this lot at 18 degrees. Not everything will go over, but I'll put the things over there that I know will be okay to go over and need to go over, and I'll leave the things over here that I know will stay okay at 12 degrees and see what happens. I'll just keep a really close eye on them, and if anything looks like it's beginning to decline, I can whiz it over into the hothouse and see what happens. So that's going to be something to look forward to, but I need a day, and I've not got a little dog running around, and when it's not pouring it down with rain, so I shall keep you posted for that. So thumbs up if you enjoyed it, thumbs up if you thought there was some interesting things in there. Bit of a vlog style today for this one, which I like to throw in every so often. So for now, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.